首先，我衷心感謝主席你接受我今日呢個請求，開呢個特別會。第二呢，我想同阿林生講聲，我過去10幾年呢，我諗我出入香港呢，如果唔係飛國泰，唯有就係飛內地，因為你啲航班不足。咁所以你都應該知道我係你哋嘅擁躉同埋支持者。我今日呢，有幾個問題 ，I have a few questions for Mr.McGOWEN。據我理解，今年1月嘅飛係舊年1月賣出。當時舊年1月，佢哋有啲假設就係舊年成年可以招募到嘅新嘅機組人員會有幾多，同埋最緊要呢，就係機組機師仲要分 Airbus 同 Boeing。就唔係攬埋一齊睇個總數。咁第二呢，就係個假設，就係喺成年再培訓，唔係再培訓，有啲停飛咗嘅機師，佢要再飛翻咁多個鐘。咁嗰度呢又複雜啦，又要分開 Boeing 同埋 Airbus， 就唔係睇個總數。嗱，呢個係上年1月嘅計劃。阿麥生，你係4月上任。據我理解，你之前喺部門工作，但係唔係好涉及呢啲規劃啊各方面嘅嘢。咁你4月上任之後呢，我而家有幾個問題啦。你有冇逐個月睇住，到底佢新聘請同埋再培訓翻啲舊機師嗰個 Boeing 同 Airbus？嗰個 Breakdown 嘅比例，你淨係睇個大數嚇。咁個問題就係，如果你冇嘅，呢成件事情，你咪需要孭上最大責任，因為你係新上任，你4月上任嘅。如果你有嘅，咁我更加拗穿頭。點解你唔係9月、10月、11月開始響警鐘？而係去到1月，仲有班航機啊48小時之前要取消，好明啊，就係有機師，不過你架機係 Airbus， 個機師係 Boeing 啦，係啲咁嘅嘢啦。咁啊真係離晒大譜嘅喎，唔通你哋人手 planning 唔係睇住一個兩種pilot 嘅咩？係 Boeing 同埋 Airbus 嘅咩？係一個大數嘅咩咁？好啦，咁最後啦，你要我相信你哋今日話俾全香港聽係流感高峰期，咁唔該你話俾我聽，今年1月份所有機組人員嗰個告病假率，唔係人數，人數係冇用嘅，個告病假率即係個人數除你總人數，比起2017同埋2018嘅1月係咪特別高咗？你交唔出呢條數呢，我點都唔會接受你呢個解釋。對比舊年係冇意思嘅，我要對比翻疫情前嗰啲流感高峰期。唔該。
Mr.McGOWEN.
Thank you to the honourable member for the question. And the question goes to the heart of the complexity of the airline industry and the complexity of matching pilot resources with the aircraft that we have to deploy. Through the beginning of 2023, when we plan the long-term outlook for the airline, we obviously assess all of the parts of the aviation ecosystem, our airport capacity, our ground handling capacity, and pilot, cabin crew, engineering resources. And when I came into the job in April, I was certainly very confident that we had sufficient pilots, cabin crew, and resources in place in order to meet the schedule that we were selling back in January 2023. The specific numbers around November and December in terms of pilot reserves and absence calls are quite revealing and interesting, and I'm happy to share them. Typically, we were receiving 10 new pilot absence calls a day, and that was consistent all the way through 2023. It was a lower level than we'd seen actually in 2022, despite the fact that in 2022 we had a far lower level of flying, so the number and the rate was lower. By the time we got into mid-December in 2023, the number had increased from 10 new calls a day to 20 new calls a day. And even at that elevated level, our reserves were sufficient to cover the absence levels across all fleets. By the time we got to the 26th of December, we were receiving 27 new absence calls a day. And then it remained at that elevated level through the rest of December. So at that point, it became necessary to put in place a proactive fire break, which allowed us to cancel those flights with the lowest passenger impact, recover the pilots from those flights, and deploy them on routes with more passengers that needed to be carried. There was no particular spike of absence on one fleet or one rank. It was rather general across all fleets and all ranks. Thank you for the question.
我對唔住啊，田議員，因為好多人排隊，唔可以 follow up 啦。
唔係喎，我唔好意思，佢冇答到我問題啊嘛，主席。
對唔住啦，真係或者你唔滿意，因為仲有好多人排隊，我哋要加時。
冇答到我問題，
對唔住啊，真係我唔同你拗啦。
如果佢交唔到
議員，你第日同國泰跟進啦因為仲有好多位委員排緊隊啊。